Hey yo, it's your girl Naj, and we back with guess what? It's her court, her rules, and it is WNBA Friday prime time. We gonna just do a light little pregame real quick, get into these 7:30 games because of course you know how the WB finessing this. You feel me? Want to put on 17 games a night? You know what I mean? Like you ain't got something to do on a Friday. Okay, now I don't know about you. I ain't got much to do on today's Friday, but the WNBA. Let's get right into it, right? All right, so the first game of the night, okay, we got the Lynx versus the Dream. Let's get right into it. Come on, 7:30 o'clock. Um, right on the WNBA League Pass app. So I think that's pretty fire. You know what I mean? At least it's on the app. I can go ahead and grab that game um, pretty easily. So let's talk about it. We got the Lynx and Atlanta Dream. First and foremost, before I even go through the odds and all that, I don't care about nothing about no odds. We have a clean and clear injury report. Y'all, this is a big deal because obviously the Minnesota Lynx, they've been missing Fifi, right? Everybody missing the presumingly MVP this season, more than likely. I mean, she won Defensive Player of the Year last year, and it was really close between her and Asia in that MVP category. More than likely, she gonna go ahead and clear that, especially when her team is as successful as they have been this season. A lot has changed over the last week or so, right? They started out 10 straight wins. They came out the gate running. They hit the ground. They was gone. They already know what the tempo is this season. So I'm excited for this game. Let me tell you why. Let's talk about who's hot and who's not. All right. First of all, we know what Fee bringing, but look at Alicia Gray. Look at Alicia Gray. Look what she is averaging this season. 19.7 points a game, shooting 46.7% from the field at 82% from the free throw line. I mean, come on, bro. She is definitely reminding us that she wasn't an all-star. She wasn't an Olympian for no reason. There is a reason why Alicia Gray is one of those. Okay. She's definitely one of those. Rebounds. For let's just talk about the Lynx right now. Okay. Let's just talk about the Lynx right now. I love to look at roster when I'm starting to talking about a game. All right. I like to see who's going to be our starters. I mean, we are 14 games in right now, so we know what the starting lineup is. We know who's coming off the bench. We kind of have a great expectation of what we should be looking for. So let's get right into it. One thing that's impressive to me about this entire team is the length. Okay, they have two short guards on the team, Natisha Heideman and Courtney Williams. They don't play like little guards though. Courtney Williams, she a midi game. She like that midi. If she put her body into you, create that space, get that step back. Her mid game is incredible. It's probably one of the better mid games, especially off the dribble, when she can create her own space from the mid range. So Courtney Williams definitely as your starting point guard. I mean, come on, can't get better than that. I mean, it can, but mm, slim margins. You feel me? You got Courtney Williams starting as your point guard, right? Then moving forward, you got Kayla McBride. Come on, Nafisa. Come on. The biggest surprise to me this year is Elena Smith. Like again, I like to look at stats, right? I like to look at stats. Elena Smith this season is averaging 11 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists from their center position. Very, very, very strong, right? We are in the W right now where we don't really expect a lot from our centers, right? If you ain't John Quell, you know what I mean? If you ain't Tina Charles, obviously, well, Asia plays, center and forward, power forward, but get Kia Stokes out of here. Here's the reason why we don't really be worried about the centers because the productivity from the center's position is slim to none. You got your hitters. You got Asia. You know what I mean. You got Aaliyah Boston, she's a new hitter from a center's position. But overall, when you just look at the league, at the W, the center's position, similar to the NBA, is becoming less and less important. But if you have a dominant center, you gonna love your dominant center, right? So when you have somebody down on the block who's giving you 11 points, 5 boards, and again, these ain't points you necessarily banking on. But if you get them, you love them. Okay, so you Bree Jones, Brianna, BG, right? You got some hitters in the league from the center's position. They know what they doing, right? Elena Smith is one of those. I'm excited to see her again. Let's go back to the roster and let me look at Atlanta centers, okay? Because again, this is the game tonight. We got Atlanta versus the Lynx. I think the drama is going to be in the paint. That's where the drama gonna be. The guards, Courtney, Fee, Ryan, and Alicia, I think they all might just go on and cancel out. I think though the centers, the forwards, the paint, that's where we're gonna see our competition. I think for real, y'all, we might be looking at a slighted team when you looking at the Lynx in Atlanta based on what's happened this season thus far. But this game is going to be a nail biter, barn burner. Okay. And I think if I had to put my money on it, I'm actually going to put my money on Atlanta. I'm actually going to put my money on Atlanta. Why you going to do that, Naj? First and foremost, it's a home game for Atlanta. If you haven't watched multiple home games from Atlanta, they play a little bit different. Okay. Secondly, that Atlanta court, that navy blue court, is a very it's hard to play on that. I never played on that court, but just watching the games, I'll be like, they got the navy blue court, they got the darker, the navy, fade away jerseys. And that's from a fan, just from a viewer, yo. I don't like the dark on dark. I be hoping that somebody that Atlanta wears white jerseys when they at home. And when I was growing up, a home game, all your home teams wore the white jerseys. So things are different now, but let's talk about the center. Let's talk about the centers again. So we got Elena Smith for the Lynx, and then for your centers over here, in Atlanta, Brittany Griner. You know what I mean? I remember not too long ago we was out here talking about free BG. Now BG free again. I love to see it. Love to see a plan come together. So we got BG and we got Brianna Jones that's holding down the paint for Atlanta. When you compare that to um, the Lynx, I think Atlanta has the edge right there. I think they got the edge. Not to mention, do they have the edge from your starter core? You got Nia Coffee coming off the bench. That's a problem. You got Nas Hillman coming off the bench. That's a problem. These are all switch forwards that can play a little bit of three, a little bit of four, just depending on the other personnel out there. But if I'm gonna put my money on paint points in this game, it's going to be with Atlanta, with Brittany Griner, Brianna Jones, and then obviously Ryan. If Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray starts to get off early in the paint, I'm talking about easier buckets. I'm talking about middies, floaters. Uh, Ryan got a little post game. If she get caught on a switch and Courtney Williams on a switch, although I love Courtney Williams' defense, I love her heart. However, that's barbecue chicken. Everybody know Ryan Howard can score on all levels of the court, really at any point of the game, anytime. She can average 30 points if she was ball hogging. She ain't a ball hog, right? Plus, how you gonna ball hog when you got Alicia Gray, Brittany Griner, and Brianna Jones on your team? And you got to share that rock. You feel me? Now, I think if I got to put my money on something, right, the X factor of this game is Pow Pow. She's the X factor in the game. If if the Lynx are sleeping on her speed, on her IQ, because because she gets into the paint, don't mean she trying to look for the bucket. Every guard knows, especially when you a guard with weapons, all I want to do is get 2 feet in the paint and have my goggles on, because you don't know what you gonna see. You heard? You don't know what you gonna see. Um, when you got Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard behind you, You feel me? Or on the side of you, and then you got your powerful bigs with your Bree Jones and your BG down in the paint. It, you know what I mean? Now I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. This is Atlanta outside of the Vegas, the Aces. That's my favorite team because Asia is my favorite person, favorite player. Right? It's hard to watch the Aces though. Okay, it's hard to watch the Aces because I don't. If you care about your TVs and you care about your furniture, you don't really want to watch the Aces because you be about to break. You feel me? Like last night's game, I was so livid, but I can't be mad at them because this leads me to my point. My second favorite team to watch is the is the Washington Mystics. Why? Well coached, great pace, high level, high effort on defense, and on top of that, yo, the girls can play. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with the pregame and we doing right now, right? This has everything to do. You better keep your eye on Shakira Austin. I'm telling y'all, she is the next Asia Wilson. It's probably too soon to say because Asia ain't even hit her prime yet. You feel me? She ain't even hit her prime yet. But we need to start looking at who kind of got a game like hers. If y'all pay attention to Shakira Austin, matter of fact, y'all, my bad, y'all. I gotta go back to the Aces versus the game last night. What was that? Last night was it 26? You heard? Okay, so Aces versus DC. I gotta go back to this game, okay, because the game last night was just incredible. First and foremost, let's look at the box score real quick. Shakira Austin, she's five. She was five. She shot 5 from 12. Um, Not the best, you know what I mean, but she almost was 50%. So, but look at this. This is what you want to highlight: 13 boards. You also want to highlight 3 assists. Again, this is coming from your center's position. I just started talking about the lack of centers that can really do work in the W. It's not a lot. You got 13 teams, right? I can probably give you 7 centers. Maybe I could probably give you 7 centers, maybe 8 centers in the entire W that you're gonna have a problem with. In the entire W. Now, if we was talking guards, we would need 2 hands and 2 feet. But when we talking centers, you barely need 2 hands. You barely got one good center on every team. Barely. Okay. So keep your eye on Shakira Austin. 3 years from now, when she's not only averaging a triple double, but giving you 17 and 12, 20s and 15s every other night or every night, you're going to be like, oh, Naj told me on her rules that Shakira Austin was one of those and we need to keep our eye out on her. So there's that. Okay, let's get back to the game. Let's get back to the pregame. Matter of fact, if we got some people in the chat here, anybody in the chat, what y'all like to eat during the game? What y'all like to snack on during the game? I'm going to tell you me. I love Twizzlers. Okay. People don't be liking Twizzlers like people don't be liking candy corn. I'm one of them ones that like both. Call me crazy. I don't know. But listen, that's what I like. So I got my snacks loaded up. I got my beers, air quotes on beers, because I don't really drink for real. But what I call beers are like my little sparkling waters and Johns. Why do I call them that? Because most people don't like the sparkling water. So I call them beers because if you don't like a beer, more than likely you don't like sparkling water either. So there we go. But yeah, so I got my little snacks loaded up. I'm ready for the games tonight. Okay. Again, my money is actually on Atlanta tonight. We're gonna look at the odds. The odds 52-48. That's a pretty tight game. I told y'all at the top of this broadcast, this is going to be a barn burner. Why? Because your paint has threats mainly from Atlanta. From Atlanta. Okay. So the odds are very close. It's going to be a tight game. If you plan on flipping back and forth between the Lynx and the Dream, then obviously Indiana and Dallas, I would just stay on Atlanta and the Lynx. Why? Your girl ain't playing today. Your girl is out. Your girl is out injured. Okay, she not playing today. People saying what they want to say. Here we go. Here we go. Well, damn. Okay, so y'all, I know a couple of these people are out because of overseas prior engagements and whatnot. But I didn't know that they're. Uh, I thought Dejanay would be back by now. Jeez, come on, Dejanay. Okay, Dejanay is out. Maddie is still out. She's still out. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so we won't be botching that today. And um, Tierra McCown, we know she's out because of overseas. She balling overseas. So Caitlin is out today. She's supposed to be back on the 1st, right? Look at my face, y'all. Very, very timely, very, very timely injury. Not that injury is a right on time or not, but I'm sure y'all wanted to see, just like I wanted to see, Paige versus Caitlyn. That's a matchup. If anybody is new here, if anybody just became a WNBA fan and never watched March Madness and whatnot, that's a matchup we wanted to see. Caitlyn's senior year, right? Okay, so anybody is new here, the great white hope in women's basketball before Caitlyn, and I'm using air quotes because that's what the media is saying, right? Before Caitlyn was Paige Buckets, okay? It was Paige Buckets. It wasn't nobody else over the last 4 years that had more hype in the W than Paige. I mean, prior to Juju, right? Juju just got here. She not gonna be playing this year, and we wishing her speedy recovery from her ACL injury. But prior to the hype with Juju getting here, Paige Buckets was all the hype in the W. I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching Paige hoop since she was I'm talking about she was little. She was 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? I'm on YouTube. I've never followed nobody's career like I follow Paige. So this is a matchup I've been wanting to see. This is a matchup I have been wanting to see. What better way to see it than Paige potentially rookie of the year? And then Caitlin Clark, we know what Caitlin Clark does, right? We know her game, right? I would have loved to see that. I've been saying that Paige is the future of point guards in the W. When you want a point guard, you want them to look like Paige. You want them to have length. You want them to be agile. You want them to love defense. You want them to be able to score on all three levels. You want them to have an IQ where they understand getting everybody involved. You also want up. Let me make sure I'm bigger. Okay. You also want a point guard, okay, that knows how to pass in the post. I see so many games, and forgive me because I'm getting hot. I see so many games where the guard don't know how to pump fake and bounce, or I just be like, yo, or you know what? They always throw the ball. They either got too much gas on that pass, okay, where your big can't get it. It's too low. They can't get it. Come on, man. I don't see that problem with Paige. That's what you want from your guards, especially a rookie. Now, Paige ain't your average rookie. She not your anybody coming out of certain systems. Don't just put them in a rookie category. If you coming out of UConn, you got to know that they are already ready. If you coming out of Notre Dame, you coming out of South Carolina, you got to know that they're ready to play. Now, something about certain schools, certain coaches, certain programs, they understand teamwork, pace, and efficiency. Paige is not big on turnovers. Matter of fact, let's just go to the stats because I don't like talking out the side of my neck, and sometimes that's exactly what you can do. Okay, because again, y'all, I'm a stat person. Let me make myself small. Y'all don't care about me. Y'all here to look at listen to the content. Okay, regular season rookie 17 points, 4 boards, roughly 6 assists, almost two steals. Rookie, y'all, y'all. Let's go to turnovers. Almost 6 steals and roughly 2.5. We gonna round up. If I rounded up and gave her six assists, I'm gonna go ahead and round up and give her 3 turnovers, right? 2-to-1 ratio. I'm not mad at that. Now, let's look at the matchup we thought we was gonna have today. And they eventually got to give us this matchup. I'm not saying again, make myself be. I'm not saying that particular people are ducking the smoke. I'm not saying that, but it's quite ironic that you were just good and now you're not good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna go on and put that out there. Me. Long story short, get well, everybody. I want everybody who's unhealthy in the W to get healthy, so we can level up this competition just another notch. Because again, I've been saying on Her Core Her Rules. Tune in every Wednesday. We go live on at 6 o'clock. I've been saying the WNBA has the best competition of all sports. Period. You know why I can say that so confidently? Because I can watch two bad teams. I can watch Connecticut and I can watch Dallas. I can watch two of the worst teams in the league go head to head and fight like their life literally is on the line. No other sport can I watch that. If I turn into a Wizards game, versus Charlotte Hornets, nasty work. If I turn to a Portland Trail Blazers or New Orleans Pelicans, nasty work. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that, especially if ain't no Zion playing. You feel me? But in this WNBA, doesn't matter who's on the court, doesn't matter who's playing, doesn't matter who's injured, doesn't matter what team it is, home, away, you're gonna get the best competition. Period. You may think you got a easy W. Ask the Aces last night if they thought they had an easy W. Maybe not easy, but ask them if they thought Mystics. Yeah, we're gonna go and check that box. It's no Sykes. Check that box. Got an early injury. Didn't return first quarter. Check that box. Hold on. Not only did they lose, they was pretty much losing all game. All game. They were in it a little bit, but they were always fighting back. At one point, they were down by 20. I saw Becky Hammond subbing out 5 people at a time. Oh, Lord. That's what I'm saying. Best competition in all of sports. Back to the stats, though. Another reason why I have the edge. That was Atlanta, Minnesota. We just already covered that. The game is on, y'all. The game is on. Indiana and Dallas is on right now. That's on right now. Okay. I need to leave. I need to leave so I can go watch this game. I'm just looking at the stats here. See what's going on, what I done missed. It's Fever. Well, when you really think about it, team to team, right? Team to team. Fever versus the Wings. It don't even, with or without Caitlin, Fever have a better team. Period. Fever has the better team with or without Caitlin. They actually have a really great, well constructed team, even if Caitlin is injured. You know what I mean? So shout out to the upper management. Shout out to the GM. They put together a great team with pieces. And now with the addition, the finalized stamped edition of Ari McDonald, yo, you ain't losing no sleep, you ain't losing no pace. Obviously, you're not losing no pace. It's 14-2 already. So let's look and see what happened. What I done missed. What I done missed. All right. All right. So Kelsey Mitchell makes the mid-range 20-foot. Paige replies. Okay. She responds to that. Got the layup. Ari got the mid-range pull-up jump shot. Lee Yaru, bad pass. Okay, boom. Ari got another 2-point shot. Okay. Off the Howard assist. Kelsey Mitchell made another 2-point shot off the Ari McDonald assist with the and one, you heard. Um, let's see what we got. I mean, so far it's looking like Dallas. Yeah. So I dropped a video. I made a video, right, about that damn Dallas coach, bruh. Let me show you something, cause I'm so sick. I'm so sick. All right. I made a video about the Dallas Wings coach because literally
It's your girl Naja Lee, and I got it.
Hold
would have
on.
never treated. It's only 13 spots for y'all.
Hold on. I made a video about the Dallas Wings coach, right? Because I'm looking at the because I'm looking at the game, right? He just called the timeout. The score is 14-2. I'm looking at the game, and I'm like, okay, here for me, right? If I was a coach, right? I'm not a coach. Well, I'm not a coach for majors, but if I was a coach, you would never get 14-2 run on me. Once your run is 6 points, I'm not letting it get to 8. So if you go on a 6-0 run, whether you hit two threes, whether you hit a two in the and one and another three, or three jumpers, mid range jumpers like we have here, okay, layups. Once you get 6 points on me straight, beep, 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 I'm calling the timeout. What a bad coach will do is let you get up by 12. Now, rule number one, we should not be letting a team get up double digits before we blow that whistle and call a timeout and regroup. What happened with our game plan? We knew who we were playing. We know what's going on. It shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be a shock that Ari McDonald plays with pace. It shouldn't be a shock that Kelsey Mitchell can hit the middies. It shouldn't be a shock that Natasha Howard can dish it out the post if she get doubled and get free somebody up with a wide open shot. That shouldn't be a shock. But what's a shock to me is allowing them to get up 14-2, okay, and you haven't called the timeout. So we're gonna go to what I was ranting to Raven just the other week, just last week actually, about the yeah, just last week about Dallas Wings. Okay, here we go. Share. And how's the weather out there for y'all? It's raining cats and monkeys over here. All right, hold on.
That you guys should have, or
Let's
the
take
girl
this off.
Naja Lee, her core, her rules, right here on Beyond the Lens TV. Real quick, quick recap, right? Quick recap. Aces versus Wings. I got a lot to say, and we're
Come
gonna
on.
get into this on the next episode of her core, her rules. But listen, yo,
Just check this out, because this is
Wings
my
coach,
venting.
I don't even respect you enough.
This is me venting about the Dallas Wings coach and why I feel like the Dallas Wings are do better. This coach for the Dallas Wings has to go. Why?
To even learn your name. All I know
I don't
is
know
you're
his
the
name.
head coach, your sister the assistant coach. One of your main players was calling for a call review on the
I'm
foul.
gonna even fast
at
forward
a
because who cares about all that? Let's talk about me. Let's get into
okay,
the real.
who has the momentum? When that momentum is shifting, again, you're on the road. Again, you are facing two-time champions. With or without Asia, baby, they still got them things up in their rafters, okay? They still got them. You heard? So you gotta put some respect on their name. There's not a deficit that they can't come back from, with or without Asia. What if they lock in? What it sucks to say
You gotta call a
that
timeout. That's the point. That's the whole point of this. At the end of the day, look again, y'all. You have to call the time out. You can't let a team get up. Now they called the timeout when they were already up 14-2. Now it's 16-2. And now what happens? Indiana Fever, they got the momentum. They don't care if they on the road. They love being on the road. Who don't care? You know what I mean? If Sophie Cunningham just said nobody likes us, you feel me? Why would they care about being on the road? Of course, they love at home. They have great home fans, but they don't care about being on the road. So you got Fever and the Wings. I mean, Wings already out the gate getting cooked. If the Fever get up by 15 to 20 points, y'all don't have the personnel. Y'all don't have the personnel to come back, right? Um, here's a hot take though. Here's a hot take. Here's a hot take. I believe their best shooter or scorer should be traded. I believe Enrique should be traded because look at the stats. I believe Enrique should be traded. I don't think that Enrique and Paige plays well together. I don't think that Enrique is at the point in her career where she has learned to be off the ball. Um, and so I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from her play this year. She hasn't had great, shooting percentages. Over her career, she's shooting 39% from the field. Now, as a guard, that's awful. right? But this year it gets worse. 35% from the field this year. As a matter of fact, there's an interesting stat that I pulled up the other day. Enrique has the most field goal attempts in the league and the most field goal misses. If you think I'm cap, I'm about to show you that I'm not. Because when I saw it, I said, "What? What?" She has the most field goal attempts and the most field goal misses. Dallas Wings. Okay, so boom. Let's go to WNBA stats. Every team. I'm at basketballreference.com and let's go to league leaders, players, and let's go to y'all. Got y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm putting up the league WNBA league leaders. Boom. There we go. And y'all, I literally shat my pants, shat my pants, for real, cause that's crazy. How do you take the most shots and miss the most shots? Okay, we got it right here. Share this tab instead. Boom. All right, WNBA. We got field goal attempts. Okay, so boom, field goals missed. You see that? Field goals missed. You see that? And this is why I'm saying that it's not that she's having just a bad shooting year. Again, she averages 39% from the field, which is not great from a guard. It's actually horrible it's actually horrible. Let's call a spade a spade. If you can't give me 44% from the field, you're a guard. Don't take so many bad shots. And most of her shots be off the dribble. You got Paige. Let Paige get you into the game. And I think from what I'm seeing with Enrique and Paige, I just don't think that Enrique moves well without the ball, right? She's used to having the ball in her hands. So it's just not a good look, bro. It's just not a good look to lead the league in field goals missed. And we like to talk about me bounds. We like to talk about somebody getting their own boards. Bro, why she not getting her own boards? Matter of fact, let's go. Let's drop this list down. Make me small. You don't care about me. Look. All right. Field goals missed. Who's leading the league? Enrique, number one. Number two, Ryan Howard. Right? But field goal attempts. Field goal attempts. Let's drop this down. So again, she's shooting 35% from the field. Field goal attempts, 245 attempts. Field goal misses, 157. What? 157 misses. Y'all, I would I wouldn't even want to play. If I ain't got a wide open shot, I ain't going to the rack. I'd be like, don't even get you got it, Paige. Go ahead. Go ahead, DJ. You got it. Y'all figure something out. Help me get open. Help me get easier buckets. But the problem ain't Enrique, for real, for real. It's a little bit because think she take poor shots. But the problem is the coaching. The problem is the coaching. And this is why, again, this is why I made this video. The problem is the coaching. Dallas deserves a new coach. We are tired. We're tired of the experiment. Lord knows I wish this was the NBA because they would have chalked him up after game 7. After the game number 7, they would have said, "You're fired." You know how I know that? Because they fired Mike Brown under 20 games and he had just won Coach of the year prior. You know how I know that? Because they fired Mike Malone from Denver right before the playoffs, and he got the 3-time MVP in Jokic. This how I know. Now with the WNBA, it's three coaches we know need to be fired. This goofy, Connecticut's goofy, and Chicago's goofy, right? Chicago only playing as well as they are when they want to play well. I think because of the player. Look, listen. I be watching them Chicago Aces games, and I be like, the coaching is just bad. Again, one of my biggest issues with these newer coaches is too scared to call the timeout. Forget the challenge. Don't even act like you got challenges. Use your timeouts to control the game. Don't use them to challenge. Y'all ain't at the position where y'all need to be challenging the refs. It is what it is. You get a bad call, F it. This the W. You know how many bad calls there are per game, per quarter, per team? Come on. So prior to the bad call, use your timeouts to dictate tempo. If teams are getting up on you, if they are running on you, if you feel like you got cinder blocks in your shoes and they got wings on theirs, me call the timeout. Okay, so look, I ain't gonna keep y'all long. I've been on this stream longer than I wanted to. I only wanted to be on there about 15, 20 minutes until the game started. But then I looked at the ticker. I'm gonna go back to the ticket so we see what the scores are. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all the scores before we get on up out of here. Hold on. What's up? What we doing with the scoreboard? All right. Okay. I told y'all my money was on Atlanta. My money was on Atlanta this game. One thing about the W is that no league is ever safe. Okay. So when I first clicked back to the score, it was 24-14. And BG hit a layup off Ryan Howard's assist, made that 24-16. Um, I'm not worried about this game. I think it's gonna be a close game. Atlanta seems to me to always get off to a little slower start. The first quarter is never their best quarter, so I'm not worried about Atlanta in the first quarter. What's going to happen in the W is that even if you miss the first half of the game, it's the second half that matters. It's the second half that matters because the box score and the breakdowns of the quarter, the first half is usually always a little skewed. It's always a little skewed. But the second half, teams either like my aces, a lot of times they leave their game in the locker room, they forget everything they just did. Then there are other teams that they could be down by 20. They got right back on in there and now, they edge out of victory. So I'm not worried about where we are right now. And Atlanta isn't my number one team, but boy do I like watching them. And so that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody pulling up and chopping it with me about WNBA. Who don't love basketball and who don't love? We got 6 games tonight. You feel me? Like, look at all. Hold on, let me pull up all these games. These two are on right now. I had no hope in this game. I thought for sure the Fever was gonna win. It's a better constructed team, a better well coached, a better coached team. And with or without Caitlin, Fever still got a damn good roster, bro. So, and the Wings they do not have a good roster. Okay, I just broke down one of the biggest reasons is they number one shooting guard is shooting 35% from the field, so that's a problem. Sky versus Valkyrie. You never know what you're gonna get with the Sky. Sometimes they bring their max level of effort. Um, this game, it Valkyries Valkyries all day, and it's a home game, and more than likely 9 times out of 10 is sold out with 18,000 roaring fans and purple and black screaming crazy at the Sky, and they don't have Camilla barbecue chicken down there. Not gonna happen. So I got Valkyries winning by a long margin, at least 15, at least. They're gonna be up just like this game is gonna look like this game. Fever in the Wings, I think. Now again, best competition in all sports is the WNBA, so you never know what's gonna happen. Then at 10 o'clock, Liberty versus the Mercury. Lord knows that's gonna be a game, which I won't be up to watch because I'm gonna watch that on a replay on the League Pass app because I'm not about to be up till 12:30. I'm not a young whippersnapper no more. We're not doing that. Even though it's Friday, I'm supposed to be turning up. I'm gonna be turning over in the bed. Okay, thank you. Then you have the Connecticut Sun and Storm. This ain't nothing to talk about. But again, it's the W, and you're gonna have some good competition. But this ain't nothing to talk about. The Storm is gonna win. The Storm, it's a home game for the Storm. The Storm is gonna obliterate the Sun. Isn't that's a bar? The Sun, I mean, the Storm will obliterate the Sun. I don't know, but yeah. So you got them, and look at the odds. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Connecticut has no chance. This game is absolutely even. It's going the distance. I'm gonna have to watch that on the app. Just make sure I catch every minute of the game. Yeah. See, Chicago. I mean, Valkyries only got a slight edge, but if you want to bet, go and put your money on Chicago. You may win a couple bucks, but I would not. I would not. I would not vote against the Valkyries at home. That's not a good idea. But you still got time to put some money on Atlanta if you want to. That's what I would do. Even though they down by 8, go and put $10 on Atlanta and see what you get. See what you get. Or if you cheap like me, put $3 on it. Hell, $5. You know what I'm saying? 25 cents, whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? ESPN bet. You heard? I don't be gambling all like that, but you know, man, just if you want to do. So that's my little pregame. I got my snacks. Okay. I got my dinner. Okay. I got my drinks. Okay. I got my bubbly water. We good to go. I hope y'all have a great evening. Y'all take care. Pull up Wednesdays at 6 o'clock where we live stream Her Court, Her Rules. We do a weekly WNBA recap every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We go live. You can watch all the playbacks, replays right here on Beyond the Lens TV. On top of that, I have a clothing brand called For Your Lens. We just had a drop and it's crazy. And so while y'all here, before I head out, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all the drop real quick, just so y'all know how we come in. We do a lot here. You know what I'm saying? We talk about WNBA. We give you brand advice, building your brand, building your business, building your being. We got some joints right now on the site, and our Beyond the Lens TV page. We have some free classes and things. So you know, this is one of those. This is one of those of our first summer drop. The drop. The drop is here. In your mind, think of the champ is here, but the drop is here. You see what I'm saying? You see what I did there? So that's what we doing. We located right here in VA, you know what I'm saying? Keeping it real player, 2 up, 2 down. You already know how we go. But I ain't from VA, I'm from Ohio. You heard? So yeah, that's what we doing right here. Keeping it light, keeping it simple, keeping it minimalist, keeping everything clean, and keeping it player, you heard. So again, pull up to Beyond the Lens TV. So you oh, look at me. Pull up to Beyond the Lens TV. Make sure you check our Her Court, Her Rules playlist. And so you can see everything that we have in store. Okay, we did the week 7. We did our Commissioner's Cup. We're going to be streaming Commissioner's Cup live, the game live right here on Tuesday. So definitely pull up for that. Me and my boy Hustle, we got it going. So make sure y'all pull up. I appreciate everybody who did. This is Beyond the Lens TV. This is Her Core, Her Rules, sponsored by For Your Lens. I am Naja Lee, host, owner, curator, all things For Your Lens ambassador. I'm telling you, I got the shirt on right now. Hold on. See what I'm saying? I ain't playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all. I wear my shit. You get me? I wear my shit. I don't wear Balenciaga. I don't wear none of that shit. I wear my shit. Pull up Her Core, Her Rules every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Okay? Right here on Beyond the Lens TV. And we're gonna get it cracking. Appreciate y'all. Till we meet again Wednesday. See y'all.